Did I do it again? There you go. Wow, that was stupid. But it happens when we press Control D to immediately copy the line. Let's go to the... So at least tackle part of this. What a busy morning with the Dungeons and Dragons. Very weird session, too. There was a certain rush to get as far as we could, because someone was like, I gotta go to bed early. But even after that, everyone was like, okay, we're done, I'm out, bye! And they vanished. I have no clue where they went off to, or what their ulterior motives are. Can I also say that these parts of the translation are kind of boring? Like, this really does feel like you're doing menial labor. Also, this annoys me. This and Katsuharu are like the few moments in this entire fucking game where you're interrupted going someplace, where there's like an intermission to reaching a location. For a lot of it, it's just like, let's go place, and you're there. It's not like, not even like your thoughts on the way. Like, when we walked back, I was concerned about the circumstance. Yeah, some internal monologue or something. Ha. I don't get Kevin. I don't get Kiz's angle. He's just like, it's a good joke. Kevin Ramble. Wait, he has a Ramble sprite? Kevin, why are you so goofy? Oh, that's why he has a Ramble sprite, because he has one where for some reason he holds his hand up. And here he just... Like, I know this is supposed to be he's either annoyed or something, but he looks like he's... Like, this small line gives the impression that he's, like, tired. He just looks tired a lot. Something about these two pictures feels like the line work is very different. It's probably because the eyes suddenly have a lot lighter emphasis on them. Yeah, and the shading is also a little more powerful. As someone who draws, I'm starting to notice a lot of, like, differences. Also, the horns, neither of them look as if they're actually on this side of the face, except that one. That one looks like it's on his head, these other two feels like they're just floating behind him. You really want to emphasize these kinds of details as much as you can, because without them, a lot of details tend to just exist. And that's not a good thing. What a weird joke to make, for one. And secondly, like, so you meet a human, and this is your introduction. This is the way you introduce yourself to humanity. This is my angle. I'm gonna change tone because you are way harsh here. Yeah, look at how much of an ass your character is. I know at the time I was like, ugh, Kevin, but this is way harsh. Ugh. So I'm changing it a bit to be like, are humans not good enough for a dragon school? I'm changing the context a bit because you come across an ass and you have no control. I feel that if you're going to be an ass, at the very least, either the player has several options leading up to it, or it's in itself a decision. But not like this. Like, this is just fucking rude. He says none at all. At least twice, in the span of a few sentences, which establishes a pattern that doesn't seem to like it's ever followed up upon. Why does he ramble if he just says goodbye? Ugh. That's what you get when you name sprites a certain way. So, a couple of questions. Would like, are they gonna have to align this? At some point, dragons and humans are gonna like to agree on what constitutes a diploma. And secondly, how would he know all this? Like, how would he know how long this would last? This is not, it's like, be glad I have a sense of humor. It's just trying to emphasize, like, don't worry about it. You know? Like, if you're still an asshole, you can be like, be glad I have a sense of humor. Like, but if you're like, actually, like, be glad I have a sense of, you can interpret it a couple of ways. Despite being in college, I don't actually know what we call them. I just say it in a degree and, Student time. Fun time. I can tell you, it is the good time. Like, people are like, high school, the goal. No. Going to college is. When you go to college, you only get to do the stuff you like. For the majority, like, you're gonna have subjects, you're gonna be like, man, I like this subject. But more importantly, holy shit, there are so many gaps in the time, because they have to accommodate people that have work. And if you don't have work, if you get that luxury, or even if you have a job, like, there's a lot of, like, empty space that's gonna pile up over time. Like, you're not there 9 to 5, and if you do have a job, like, either your job exists around it, to some extent, in which case, oh man, sorry about that. But a lot of people don't have that. And if you do, well, the benefit is that after college, you get a better job, probably. Or you have at least, no. That's something I should not say. Don't ever say that. Unless your college specifically ends with, like, an internship at a company, and it's like, oh, now you work with them. No. Your degree assures you nothing. I like this. I'm just adding a the more you know. Just trying to keep it just trying to match back these, like, rounds, like, ooh, woo. That's free real estate. That fucking GIF is great. Wow, we've already done 100 lines. This is going fast. Faster than I thought it would. Because I'm not really paying attention, is it? Mostly because 100 lines actually 25 lines. Now that I think about it. Wow. Can I just say this, that Kevin, like, at first I didn't like him because he just rambles a bunch. For fuck's sake, Kevin, don't gloat your ego like that. Like, I know that's not the point, but for fuck's sake, you're a cameo character. You don't have to include a line on how cool you are. If anything, avoid that. That's like the fun part about Affinia, is, as a character, she would be like, I'm great, but you know that on one hand she doesn't mean it, and on the other hand she's not great? So there's this sense of, like, self-irony involved with it. But when someone who isn't like her, who isn't like a bit kooky or a bit weird, or you know him well enough to be like, ah, he just means it that way. When a random stranger in the street says, I'm just great like that, like, what are you gonna do? Like, not even a video, like, if Lorem just said that, like, I'm just like that. Like, at that point, you're friends, you're like, okay, I guess you're like that. I mean, I've seen it, I've experienced it myself to a full extent. But here, it just comes across a bit arrogant. Just a little bit arrogant. Just a pinch. Oh yeah, this moment we don't actually know that. It's a little bit later that we get suddenly kidnapped by a woman who's like, I got to tell you about the future! Wait, how do you know where to find Kevin, though? Do you exchange numbers or something? Yeah, like, look at all these butts. Like, I point this out a bunch of times, but butts are such a common word in this. I gotta say, though, that this just seems to be a phase you get into, is everything is contradictions. Try to avoid them, because butts negate things. Butts make certain bits of conversation look needless. Needless to say, don't ever say that if you're trying to make a serious character. Something that's actually needless to say should not be said because it's needless. There's no need. And similarly, adding butts everywhere makes it sound like no one is saying what they mean. Oh, that's how he's... okay. Well, I guess he wouldn't give his number. That'd be kind of awkward, because especially since he's out and about so much. And no one seems to have cell phones. But why would he let you know if, like, you specifically come to him? Wouldn't he notice immediately? And you don't even get to say goodbye. Wait a minute, isn't this like the exact same day? Like, you wake up, Bryce invites you over for the rest of the team, Maverick shows up, you go to the place, you come back. This is still the same day! Wow! At this point, you've probably gotten an exercise. Like, I don't care how small this town is. You've walked to the police station, walked to a place that's presumably out of town considering its background, moved back into town, then went out to an abandoned farmhouse outside of town, walked back to the police station, and are now walking back to the wow. Your character's got some leg strength. Did not skip leg day in the post-apocalyptia. This is bad. I like that the bad one comes first. Saves me the hassle of having to do that one first. Wait, does Adine ever mention the stolen eggs being blown up? I don't think she does. I don't think she gives a shit about it in her dates. You think like one of the dates would be like, man, I'm really sad about those eggs. Or something, huh? Interesting that this does not, in fact, make your situation... Like, when did you be like, oh man, I can't believe you care so much about eggs. Maybe we should meet again. But I guess the point is that every bad ending is like you are destroying the date. To some extent. Like, you are ruining things. I don't know, though. Like, you really gotta consider that, because the amount of entropy you're introducing... Like, allowing semi-bad endings, fine. But quite literally destroying the dynamic between characters and then being like, okay, you can go back. You have to account for a huge encounter on 4 separate occasions. You'd have to make that a jump where you go into it and then go out of it in a separate file. It's doable, it'd be great, but holy canoodly, it takes work. Holy cannoli. The thing about Emily that I don't get is, it's implied to be several years since that moment, and considering that the egg is implied to be a genetic clone, if not straight up just the creature, which again is kind of weird since they're different species, it's implied that the lady herself is a completely different species than Anna. The thing that gets me about this is the state of a fucking, what, like a 2-3-year-old? In a world that doesn't seem to fully understand the point of eggs? Like, the point is that what comes out of an egg is generally more developed than a baby. Human babies are very much outliers compared to most creatures when it comes to how underdeveloped they are. I think that's kind of the point. Is that most creatures tend to come out a little more developed. Especially with lizards. Like, even with human DNA, I don't think they suddenly develop like a longer developmental cycle. The fact that this happens is just kind of kooky. Unless it's a long process to get out of that mindset. Maybe that's what they're struggling with. And it tasty translates nicely into, literally, it tasty. Is tasty, actually. Considering that Adine does deliveries, wouldn't she be a little bit more eh? Like, again, like, it's a perfect way to make up. It's like, thanks for delivery. So, why don't you do this too? Oh, fuck. I just realized this achievement shows up at, like, several different occasions. That's gonna suck. So, why the hell is this achievement, like, all over the place? Why? Let me look at this. It shows up all the time. Why not just make this, like, the big finale? Like, after all these if statements, you have it once. Instead of I'm gonna do this once, and then I'm gonna get out of here. I'm done. I don't want to deal with this right now. It makes me annoyed. It makes me angry. I don't think this is required for anyone, by the way. I don't think anything comes out of this. This is just a sidetrack that shows you some insight into the characters, but besides that, it's like an achievement that does nothing, despite having some sense of weight behind it. So is this... Is this the... Is that the Steam check? No. Call sys check. I wonder what that is. One of the things I don't understand. Excellent work, essentially, but it doesn't work as a pun too well. God, I'm trying to think of a good egg pun. Oh, I know a good one. I know a good one that Sassy System would use. Really? The fuck is that? Wow. Wow. What a bunch of baloney. God damn it. Actually, I could slightly tweak them, but I don't think that... Nah, that's the kind of detail work that just doesn't work. Because it should have just been one major delivery. Oh my god, these are great. These are great. For some reason, a chicken without eggs is a policeman. The whole egg eating? Wow. Like, this actually works as a fucking pun, because he doesn't have eggs, because you just delivered them for him. The chicken without eggs will be happy. Look. Yeah, I guess it's only abandon that you can make up for. It's again weird that Adina is neutral in both circumstances. Ba-ba-ba! I wonder if these are all the exact same line or not. Goddamn, that's 4. Oh, man. And it's the same, like, singular pun. Wait, there's a label called C6. Okay, so that's the whole... Okay, so here it did compile them into one tidbit. Bobbly! Whatever that means. It shows up 5 frickin' times. And I appreciate these little things that still exist. Besides the point. Man, this is gonna be fun. Next time, I might burp. Yeah, again, the fact that it's split up like this is terrible. Like, I know why it is. It's because of timing. But just make a label and jump to that label and then jump back to the text at hand. Like, make it the end. Why is this a clue? Like, again, this is never checked, implying to me that there was going to be something else, because these are not clues. You're just bringing eggs. Call it C4 work done or something. I don't know. I guess this is supposed to point out that Adina doesn't hold a grudge, but she still doesn't like you. Because, oh boy, do you have to piss her off. She's such a soft lady. Emily, stop chewing my leg! Why did I just feel vibrations? But it's not my... Am I being murdered? The answer is no, but we can pretend. Let's imagine a world in which I'm dead. It'd probably be something like this.